Hello everybody, hope you're doing great and are ready to learn something new about geology and geological history, in this case about the Reykjanes peninsula in Iceland. You probably know this area very well, at least by the name. If you're not familiar with it, it's a volcanic zone that hosted the Geldingadalir eruption for 6 months from March 2021 to September that same year and got a lot of people interested in volcanoes. In today's video, I'll be talking you through all the details you need to know about the Reykjanes Peninsula, along with some stories and what this volcano system has to offer in the future. The Reykjanes Peninsula is Iceland's youngest part, with the oldest samples dating back just 4 million years. The oldest parts of the peninsula can be found in its easternmost region. The formation began roughly 6 million years ago when a so-called rift jump occurred between Snæfellsnes and what is now Reykjanes Peninsula. Snæfellsnes was the original Reykjanes Peninsula, but during the rift jump they switched roles. Geologically speaking, this is the Reykjanes Peninsula, but generally when we talk about it, we talk about this area. If you look at the Reykjanes Peninsula, you can see that the mountains to the east are much larger than the ones to the west. The larger mountains like Skálafell and Esjan being the tallest, with Esja's highest peak being 914 meters above sea level. These larger mountains in the east formed over a period of 1 million years where activity in the area was very high. It was during this period where a lot of climate fluctuations were taking place, causing glaciers to form and melt rapidly, which allowed the mountains to grow so steeply. These mountains in the east part are most of the time not considered a part of the peninsula, since it's quite far inland. But geologically speaking, they are. Most of the peninsula is flat, but in the middle there are some prominent mountains and mountain ranges, with mountains like Keilir and Trölladingja that have a majestic look to them. They and all of the mountains on the peninsula are tuff mountains, formed during the last ice age, when a glacier covered the entirety of Iceland. With the eruptions being so small and the ice sheet so thick, the lava just built upwards instead of flowing like a river. By looking at the mountains, you can get a good idea of how large the eruption producing them was, and how long it lasted. Fagradalsfjall, for example, would have been a pretty large eruption, and probably long-lasting, judging by its flat top, which means it broke through the glacier during its eruption. Mountains like Keilir, Pointy and Alone were obviously much shorter, with Keilir's eruption also being weak due to its rather rounded build. Mountains like Grænadingja and Trölladingja are a part of a very large fissure chain, which is easily seen from above. Sveifluháls is also a chain of fissures. Brennisteinsfjöll are noticeably larger than other mountains on the peninsula, which is because of the volcano system's much greater size. The system is 45 kilometers long and has produced most of the larger eruptions on the peninsula, like the huge volcano shields that were constructed in the end of the last ice age around 7,000 to 14,000 years ago, like Þráinskjöldur, which covers an area of 145 square kilometers and has a volume of 5 cubic kilometers. The eruptions on the peninsula are mostly basaltic, but older volcano shields are pretty rich in olivine too. All the mountains formed during the ice age are mostly made out of tuff, since the eruptions were trapped under the glacier, so the ash couldn't escape and built up with the lava, which is a good formula for tuff. Moving on to some stories. There are a lot of stories that are influenced by the eruptions on the Reykjanes Peninsula. One rather interesting and well-known story goes like this. It was the year 1000, and Icelanders were meeting at the parliament, Alþingi, at Þingvellir, like they always did back then. The hot topic at the time was the christening of the nation. Hjalti Skeggjason and Gissur Hvíti Teitsson, the two main voices for Christians in Iceland, were present. They had just finished a powerful speech at the parliament that caused havoc between Christians and the Norse religion people. Shortly after, a man came running and told everyone that lava was rushing down the mountains and was heading for one of the Christian spokesman town. The Norse people got excited and began taunting the Christians, saying that this was the sign of the real gods being angry that they were converting to Christianity. Then came Snorri Goði, one of the spokesmen, and said these famous words: Hvað reiddust Guðin þá, hér brann hraunið, nú stöndum vér á. In English that means, what made the gods angry when the lava we're standing on flowed? Which made a lot of sense. The lava wasn't caused by angry gods. That's one hell of a comeback. But what is the future of the Reykjanes Peninsula? The near future for the Reykjanes Peninsula is rather foreseeable. According to the peninsula's geological history, we should be in a period of increased volcanic activity on the peninsula itself. That could last for more than 100 years, with the Geldingadalir eruption being a sort of a confirmation. So, all I can say is that we're in for a heck of a show. The most likely places for eruptions are on the west side of the peninsula, as Brennisteinsfjöll, Krýsuvík and Hengill all have a main volcano system which don't seem to be affected by this cycle. Most eruptions will also be similar to the Geldingadalir eruption, although they may not last for as long. That's all I have to say about the Reykjanes Peninsula in this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. What other topics do you think I should cover? As always, tell me in the comments. Thanks for watching.